Welcome to the farm.
Hi, I'm Dana. I am from Kitchenaid Farm, and today we're going to be making maple powder. So we're going to use last year's syrup that we have remaining left over. We're going to put it on the stove, heat it up to 262 degrees, which is going to remove all of the moisture that's left in the syrup. And then we're going to put it into our Kitchenaid mixer, allow it to mix up, and then the liquid's going to start to slowly get thicker. The color is going to kind of change to a light golden color, and then it's going to start turning into a powder. So that's what we're going to do today. So I like to keep the temperature kind of a medium, a little more than a medium. Can't even call it medium high, but a little more of a medium. That way I can control the temperature, make sure that the syrup doesn't boil over. All right, so we reached that 262 degrees. We went actually a little bit over, but it should be just fine. So we're gonna pull this off, get it into our KitchenAid stand mixer, and get this powdered up. And there you have it. This is the maple powder that we were able to get from our syrup from last year. So we'll let this cool off on some parchment paper. Some of the sugars will still kind of stick together while they're warm. So we'll let it cool off here, and then we'll sift it out, and I'll show you the next process. All right, so powder is now on the parchment paper, cooling off until I can start sifting it. But I wanted to show the casualty we had while making maple powder. I totally bent my little stand mixer thing here. I don't know what you call it. Mixer? I don't know. But yeah, totally bent this up. I tried something new. I hadn't done before. I've never used the stand mixer to make maple powder. I've always used a hand mixer and a bowl. So this time I tried the stand mixer, and I think overall it was easier, it was better. I got a bigger volume. I was able to turn into powder in one mix, although we had a casualty. So what I did, not knowing that it wasn't going to work, is the syrup that I had in the big stainless steel pot here, I had quite a bit in there. I did not pour all of that into my mixer bowl here, because as the liquid kind of starts turning to powder, sometimes that powder can start rising, and I didn't want it to spill out over the bowl. So I didn't pour it all in there. So I left some in here, and in the process, the syrup that was left in the pot had started cooling, but it was still like more of like a corn syrup type consistency. I thought, oh, I'll just heat that up just a little bit, kind of get it so it flows a little bit better, and I'll put it in my mixer bowl and start blending it back up. Bad idea. That's how this happened. So some of it did turn to powder, other stuff it just turned into these really big clumpy cakey type balls and just was not breaking up, not turning into powder. So that's what happened here. So I took all those little hard balls that aren't breaking down into a powder or even to like kind of like the little sugar candies, put those into a smaller pot on the stove, add some more water so all that sugar can kind of dissolve back into a liquid, and I'll reboil that down to the 262 degrees and make another batch of maple powder. I'm not going to show you guys that because you already saw the process. So learned a lesson today and we'll keep moving forward. All right, so now we're going to sort out or sift out our maple powder that we had just made. These are 2 batches I had already previously done. So this is our powder. So that, and then this is our like little sugar ball, sugar candies. Really don't know the technical name for it, but this is the powder that did not get any smaller. I've tried putting it into our Ninja blender thinking that that can pulverize and make these little balls into powder. It does not happen. It does make some additional powder, but really not worth all the effort and time and dishes to do that. So we have our powder here, which is cooled off. So I'm going to use our little canning funnel, our little sifter, and I'm just going to put some sugar powder in there and just sift it. And then all the powder will go down into our mason jar here, and then all the little sugar balls will stay in the strainer here. All right, so I had finished sifting out all of our powder. So this is the little powder that we got, and for some reason this year we got more of these little sugar balls or sugar candies, but maybe I'll do some Googling and figure a way to get these into powder because I would prefer a little more powder than these little sugar candies. But we're gonna move on to making the maple candies. So I got these cute little maple leaf molds. So we're gonna get our maple syrup, we're gonna heat it up to 262 degrees, and then bring that onto the table here, let it sit for 2 minutes, and then we're gonna stir it, and as we're stirring it, the color is gonna change into like a lighter caramely color, and then it will start thickening, and you're gonna start to feel these little sugar crystals on the bottom of the pan as we're stirring. At that point, that's gonna let you know it's now forming into candy, and we're going to quickly pour it off into these little molds, allow it to cool, and then we can pop out the little candy. So I'll bring you over to the stove, show you how we're going to boil it, and I'll meet you over there. So we hit the 242 temperature that we need, so we're going to pull this off, get it cooled off just a little bit, and then I'll show you the next step. So our temperature has reached 242 degrees. We're going to allow the pot to be off the burner, let it sit for 2 minutes, and then we'll start vigorously stirring it and turning it into the maple candy. All right, now that we've allowed this to sit, we're going to start stirring it. All right, you can see the color is starting to get a little bit lighter. It means the sugar crystals are starting to form. All right. And this is setting up very quickly on me tonight. And I definitely was not quick enough with this. And you can see that it already hardened up on me. So I'm gonna have to add a little more water to this, try again, and hopefully get some better candies out of it. All right, so I have a second attempt here, and I feel like this is gonna turn out. So we're gonna let this sit for a little bit, stir it, and hopefully those crystals, the low sugar crystals in there, will do what they need to do this time and have the right consistency we need. All right, we're gonna start stirring, and we're gonna watch for the color to change, for that shine to go away, and for those little sugar crystals to start forming on the bottom of the pan where I can feel them with the spoon. And then we'll quickly get them poured off into the molds over here. Do this as quickly as we can
Before it dries.
before it cools off too quickly.
Oh, before
Yep.
it's off.
Because it happens very quickly.
That's to do
You
it.
want to take that? Nope.
Is it cooling?
I got it on my hands, so it burned.
You're doing it, Mom. What about some over here? Mom is trying to go like quickly as possible before it cools. Because it happens really, really fast
Yep, and it's already cooling super quick.
already. Kind of looks like chocolate. Kind of looks like melt or chocolate.
To me, it looks like caramel.
But in the pan, looks like melted chocolate. To me.
I think that might be the end of it. Just starting to get too thick on me.
But see, there's a lot.
Yep. So you can see on the pan here, there's still a lot of maple sugar in here, but it's too thick to try and pour into the molds. So we will add a little water, try again, and keep making our maple candy. All right, so we have our little maple candy molds. So we're gonna pop these little candies out. Here they are. So we'll let them finish cooling on some parchment paper here. They can start being removed from the mold after about 10 minutes or so, where they've hardened up enough where you can pop them out. Some of these smaller little candies will just need to be cleaned up a little bit on the edges. The small little molds are the hardest ones to fill so quickly before the candy hardens. All right, so that is the end of maple season, 100% done. All of our maple syrup, maple powder, maple candies, done. So if you enjoyed this video, if you think other people would enjoy it, please share it. Please make a comment if you have any insight on how make maple candies or maple powder a little more easier for us in the future. That would be awesome. And please subscribe to the channel. It helps us so much. It lets us know, one, that you enjoy our content, and two, that other people can find us more easily and subscribe and follow our homesteading journey as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.